Good morning, everybody. The January 21, 2020 School Land Board meeting will now come to order. We have one visitor, Jennifer Neal. We welcome you to the School Land Board meeting, I believe our first of this great year, 2020, beginning of a new decade. With that, we have an exciting first item on the agenda, and that's swearing in of an existing board member, but also the swearing in of a new board member. We're going to attempt to do it simultaneously. With our new board member, we will grab an official photo after the School Land Board meeting, but on behalf of the General Land Office, we welcome you and looking forward to your service. So with that, we will all stand. We'll do it simultaneously. Scott, if you don't mind joining. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I state your name.
Scott Gorman.
Do solemnly swear. Please repeat after me. We'll start over. We'll start over. In the name, well, I'll start off with the prior language, and then after I say state your name, go ahead and repeat after me. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I state your name.
Gorman. Michael Neal.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of School Land Board
the duties of the office of School Land Board
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the constitutional laws of the United States
constitutional laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome in. Thank you again for your service, Michael and Scott. And another wrinkle for our second item on the agenda for approval of the minutes, we officially have a quorum now that we are a board of 5, but only 2 of us will vote on the approval of the minutes from our last meeting on December 17, 2019. So after Scott and I have had a chance to review the minutes, which I did before the meeting, and assuming no questions, comments, or objections, I could entertain a motion to confirm the minutes for the record.
Motion to approve.
Motion is seconded, carries unanimously with 1 abstention from Michael for confirmation of the minutes from December 17, 2019. Next item on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda, and I have not been advised of any last-minute changes. Assuming no questions, comments, or objections, and after the board has had a chance to review, I can entertain a motion to confirm the consent agenda as posted.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is made, seconded, and carries unanimously to approve the consent agenda as posted. Next item on the agenda is consideration and possible action on the adoption of a contract policy for review, approval, and monitoring of contracts per the Sunset Advisory Commission final report recommendations in 2019.
Mr. Chairman, members, my name is Jeff Gordon, GLO's General Counsel. I'll be presenting this matter. This item stems from the Sunset Advisory Commission's recommendations. As those of you who were on the board last year during the legislative session recall, the SLB went through Sunset last year. It was a lengthy process, at the end of which Sunset Advisory Commission made a number of recommendations which were adopted by the Joint Legislative Sunset Committee. Some of those recommendations were adopted through subsequent legislation. Others were management actions that SLB or GLO were instructed to undertake. The policy that is before you in this item number resolves 2 of those required management actions. One in which they directed SLB to adopt a policy regarding the review and approval of major SLB contracts with vendors. And the second, direct SLB to develop, adopt, and implement clear contract monitoring policies with respect to major SLB contracts with vendors. The policies that you have in your packet, we combined them into one global policy that addresses both management actions. They were developed by GLO staff last year. In fact, we've been following them internally for several months now. However, now that the governor in December appointed the 4 new board members as provided by the new SLB statute, staff is now bringing them to the SLB today for your formal approval of this policy. Generally speaking, I will run through just a few major points of the policies. Contract Management Division will identify major contracts, which is defined as those valued over $1 million. We'll bring those to the chief clerk and the general counsel for review, and if either the major contracts or any material changes to those major contracts is identified, they will be placed on the agenda for your review and possible approval. The Director of Contract Management Division will also provide an annual report to the board on the status of all current contracts of the SLB. Details of the details that'll be in those annual reports is listed in the policy. There also provides for training of all GLO project managers of SLB contracts, which frankly is something the GLO is already doing. This just confirms that it also includes SLB contracts. And then finally, another provision, Director of the Contract Management Division shall also ensure that annual contract monitoring and compliance reports shall be provided to the board. Again, this is something we are already and have been doing for quite some time, but again, it confirms through this policy that it applies to any SLB contracts with vendors. Adoption of this policy satisfies several of the management actions directed to the board by the Sunset Committee, and staff recommends approval of this policy, and I'm happy to answer any questions. We also have the Director of Contract Management here if you would like to ask any questions of her.
So this follows along what the Sunset Committee asked for?
Yes, there are several things that Sunset asked for, but this particular one addresses several of those actions.
I motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is made, seconded, and carries unanimously. Thank you for the work, Jeff, and also Contract and Management for not only implementing this when Sunset, after 2 years of diligence on the agency, made the recommendations, but making it official today before today's meeting. Thank you for that. Items number 4 through 8 will be held in executive session. We'll enter into it under Chapter 551, Subchapter D, Section 551, Tech 071 of the Government Code for discussion consideration regarding pending or contemplated litigation and or settlement offers. We'll also receive attorney advice or counsel related to items 4 through 8 on the docket. And under subsection 551, Tech 072 for discussion consideration concerning purchase, sale, exchange, lease, or value of real property related to items 4 through 8. Following executive session, we'll reconvene in open session to complete the docket. The open session of the January 21, 2020 School Land Board meeting will now resume with item number 4.
Good morning, Amber Long, Asset Management. Staff recommends approval of the disposition of permanent school fund land per the terms discussed in closed session. Any questions?
Any questions from the board?
So move.
Motion is made,
Second.
seconded, and carries unanimously to approve item number 4. Next item is number 5.
Amber Long, Asset Management. Staff recommends approval of the disposition of excess land per the terms discussed in closed session as being in the best interest of the permanent school fund. Any questions?
So move.
Second.
Motion is made, seconded, and carries unanimously to approve item number 5. Next item on the agenda is number 6.
Amber Long, Asset Management. Staff recommends approval of the disposition of excess land per the terms discussed in closed session. Any questions?
Any questions from the board?
So move.
Second.
A motion is made, seconded, and carries unanimously to approve item number 6. Next item is number 7.
Amber Long, Asset Management. Staff also recommends approval of this excess land as being in the best interest of the permanent school fund per the terms discussed in closed session. Any questions?
So move.
Second.
Motion is made, seconded, and carries unanimously to approve item number 7. Final item is number 8.
Russell May with Asset Management. Staff is recommending the SLB approve the attached 2020 operating budget associated with the partnership in Galveston County under the terms and conditions as presented to the board and being in the best interest of the state. May I answer any questions?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is made, seconded, and carries unanimously to approve item number 8. Again, just want to welcome our new board member and looking forward to swearing in a new one in our next meeting. There being no further business before the board, our meeting is hereby adjourned.